Going on, fish people? Just a quick little video here. And I promised a video a while back, but it's been the holidays and things get a little bit crazy, with work and spending time with family. But we're back to it. Back to making some cool fish videos, hopefully informative, or just if you ever wanted to start one, you can YouTube it, like they always say. So this is just gonna water change Wednesday. I'm only gonna show you guys a video on the small tank. The next Wednesday I'll show you the big tank, just because the smaller one's a lot easier to do water changes on. The bigger one's not too difficult. It just requires a little bit more work and a little bit pressed for time today. So we'll just show you the little one. Big one over here is looking good as always. Everything's fine when the lights are off, because I don't usually turn them on until automatically until about 2 p.m. and it's about 1:30ish around here. So if you can't see much, that's why the lights aren't just on. Everything's looking fine in it, so we're good on that. Plus I have had to make salt water lately, and that can be a little time consuming. So we got the bucket right there ready to roll. So on the small tank, when we do water changes, we just replace the little filter faucet, this little padding back here, because sometimes it gets a little gunky. So I just got a big old sheet of it. Basically, I just cut a little bit, put it in there. That's the only thing really I've done so far that's not included in the video. And plus, I clean off the lid here, and then I check this little orange bucket right there is water, because in a saltwater tank, it's just water, well, not plain water, but RODI water, filtered water, because, in a saltwater tank, the water evaporates, but the salt stays. So you kind of want to replace it with regular water. And that's what that is. And there's a little, you see the little blue sensor right there. Basically, if it gets below the line, it just, a little pump in there sucks it up in there. So, and I know when I do water changes, I always check that up, and if I got to top it off, do all that crazy stuff. But all I've done so far is replace the filter pad, and then obviously you want to turn everything off, just because you don't want everything running. Got a little suction tube here, and all I do is really start this. I know it's a little janky. Some people have automated ones, but hold on, let me get right back to you guys. All right, back with you guys. I just changed I have two of these long tube things I do water changes with. Apparently this one has a little bit of a rip in the pipe, because you kept trying to pump the water out and just get nothing but air. So basically I just squeeze this little bulb until some water comes out, and that's a water change. Everything I've read online, some people said 2 weeks, a week. For the years I've been having this tank, I do it once a week. And they say 10%, 10 to 20%. And usually the line right here starts out, I usually like to get it below this little honeycomb down a little bit further. Like I said, I've been a little lackadaisical, so I'm going to do a little bit more water change, but usually how I judge is I look in the bucket, and I got a full bucket of clean salt water right here. I basically just be like, well, I got that much salt water. I got to save at least half or more for the big tank. So I just get about like that much in there. And all I do is, and that's it. And then I'll get right back with you guys, and I'll show you the last couple steps. All right, we're back. Basically, for the small tank, I just use a little, I don't know, gallon, half gallon like thing you make Kool-Aid in. And I just scoop it out of the bucket and pour it right in. For the big one, I have like a little pump that I just stick in there, and it pumps right in there. Like I said, I'll show you guys that when I do that video for the big water one. Yeah, that big water change, sorry. And I just casually pour it in there till I get to the line that I'm thinking. Usually it's got to be above that, because if not, that will run water, and my fiance will, it'll just sound like running water, and then in a little office here, my fiance will basically go nuts because it feels like she's got to go pee every 5 seconds. So I'd at least get it above the return jets there, so she doesn't get annoyed. But basically, we just fill it up. Just made this salt water 2-3 days ago, so it's dissolved. It should be good. Some people like to put a heater in there to match the temperature, but for the little amount I'm putting in there, little amount of water changes I'm doing, or yeah, like the amount basically, like gallons wise, really don't matter. I mean, I've done water changes on this tank for years, and it seems to be okay. So, but you know, as soon as I say that, something's going to happen. So you just basically do your script at your own discretion. I've been doing water change on this tank for every week or so, or 2 weeks, for years, and it seems like everything's been working out. So you kind of want to stay to the same schedule. Once you get that peak, or once you get that pristine, you know, everything's in balance, everything's correct, you just stick with it. And see, I get to about that much above the honeycomb. And then if I got to add more, I got to add more. It's not the end of the world. You want to add less water, because if you add more, you got to take it out. If you add less, you just add more salt water. And like I said, when you top off your little return thing here, you want that just to be pure water. You don't want to add salt water, because if you add salt water, if you put salt water in this bucket, the top off the water that dissipates out of this, you're just adding more salt to it, and that hurts the fish. You want to add this, like I said before, the water evaporates, the salt stays there. So you kind of want to have water to top it off, not salt water, because then you'll just, like I said, you'll be just adding salt water, and that's not good for the fish, because you know they have to get like a certain amount of salt per water. It's a little complicated. It's called specific gravity. They like it between, I don't know, I've read things, it's 1.024 to 1.026. It's just it's, you know, like they say, specific. So then after I top that off, I turn everything on, you know, the pumps and everything. I got everything plugged into one surge protector. So all I do is flip that on, and everything should be coming back on. And once that does, I make sure, if I need to, like I said, top a little bit more, take a little off. I wipe down the glass, and then I add a little bit of this stuff just to it. Stress coat, it's supposed to, you know, help fish retain that slime coat that they have, because, you know, that's what basically protects them from diseases and whatnot. Some people say use it, some people say don't. Like I said, I've been doing it this same, what I showed you, the same thing on this tank every week for 3-4 years, most likely almost at 4 to 5 years, and everything's been working out great. So I just keep doing it. Like I said, when you find that pristine, find that perfect balance, don't change it, just keep doing it. So that's about it, guys. Like I said, the next water change Wednesday, I'll show what I do on the big tank. Like I said, it's a little bit more complicated, but not too much, really. Once you have small tanks like this, it's really not that difficult. It's just when you got to find that right balance and do it consistently. Don't let it slip. Like, oh, well, I'll do it next week, I'll do it this week. No, you want a 10%. So like on this one, I'll show you right now. I go below the honeycomb line, this little honeycomb line that goes around the tank. I usually get down just a little bit below it. That's less than 10%. But it's more than like 8%. So that's, like I said, sweet spot. You got to find that sweet spot, guys. So that's it for Water Change Wednesdays, guys. I will, hopefully I won't skip a Water Change Wednesday video, and I'll go next week, show you the big one. All right, guys. Have a safe and happy January.